Welcome to Through the Glass Recovery podcast, where we believe that connection is the opposite of addiction, vulnerability is the antidote to shame, and personal growth is the key to loving your sober life. We're your hosts, Julie Miller and Steve Knapp. Join us in conversations with people from all over the globe about how you can thrive, not just survive, in a life without alcohol.
Before we jump into the episode, we've got an announcement for our regular listeners. If you followed us since the beginning, as so many of you have, you'll know how much we've changed and evolved over the years.
So we're going to rebrand the podcast to No Alcohol Needed in the new year to reflect the growth and the evolution that we've experienced. Basically, we're leveling up. So you're going to see some new colors, a new logo, a slightly new vibe, but it'll still be the same hosts doing the same thing. We're having meaningful conversations that help you learn how to be happy, no alcohol needed.
We'll announce more in the coming weeks, so keep an eye out on social media and our website for the new logo and all of the changes. We'll roll right into the new year with great new content aimed at personal growth, emotional intelligence, and real happiness in sobriety.
Okay, let's dig into this week's conversation. Hello and welcome, everybody. We are so happy to be hanging out with you today. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, happy Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa, whatever it is that you celebrate. Thanks for hanging out with us on this holiday week. And yeah, Steve and I decided to take this time to kind of catch up with you guys, tell you about some cool new changes that are coming with Through the Glass Recovery, and just hang out with you guys. We know that everybody's pretty busy on Christmas, so if you are here and hanging out, we appreciate you. We would not be doing this, all of this whole podcast thing, if it were not for all of these regular listeners that hang out with us week after week and have been since 2022, which is incredible to me. So yeah,
Can
before
you
we
believe that? It's been since 2022?
Right. Yeah, like we've been at this for a while. It's almost 2026 now, Steve.
172 episodes. I know it's almost 2026. That flip of the year gives you always a chance to reflect, and woo, it's been
Definitely.
a journey so far, and here we go again.
Right. It has. It's been amazing. So yeah, we're excited just to share some stuff with you guys. And again, thank you all for being who you are and supporting our little project that we have going here. So yeah, Steve, do you want to jump into and talk a little bit about YouTube and what we've got going on?
Yeah, first I'm going to say Merry Christmas to everyone, and thank you from the bottom and top of our hearts, of course, for being with us on this journey for as long as you have. When we first started this whole project back in 2022, I appreciate you a lot. And with that being said, onto the YouTube topic, we decided after almost quitting episode 156 and us not wanting to walk away from this and really wanting to figure out how we could do better for you guys, do better for our listeners. What kind of value can we bring? And we thought, okay, why not show up on video? And for one of us was get over a little bit more fear than the other one, for sure. As Julie giggles, and I'm not going to point any fingers at all, but I'm not going to say any names about Julie at all.
One of us
either.
had a hard time committing to video week after week, but I'm so glad that I did and that we've started doing this.
And what we wanted to do was really try and connect with you guys in a different way, our listeners in a different way, and that was maybe if you got a chance to see us have these conversations and share those moments and share the stories, and sometimes you get to catch the inflection in our voice, but now you get to see the reactions of our faces and the laughs and all of the stuff that you don't get to see when you're listening. So if you're listening right now, we are on YouTube. Come and check us out. One of the cool things about YouTube and not the other audio platforms, I'm going to dig into this one right now, Julie, is that you can leave a comment and you can interact with us, and we watch the comments. And if you leave a comment, we'll take the opportunity. If you have a question, you want to hear something, there's something about the episode that sparked something, please feel free to share it. The listener base over there on YouTube right now is slowly growing. Subscribers are coming in, and the views on the episodes are starting to pick up. And that's been really cool. And so we want to hear from you. Absolutely. But it's kind of what we were hoping for, is to be seen a little bit, and you get to know us, and we want to get to know you.
Yeah, I think that's the cool thing about YouTube is we could get to know you now. If you are willing to show up and share some thoughts, we would really enjoy that. We sit here and talk week after week, and we would love to hear what you guys are thinking about too, or what you guys are, challenged with or excited about. That stuff's important to us, and we want to know about it. So please use the comments, and it is actually me and Steve who check those comments and respond. So yeah, it's a great chance for us to really start interacting with you guys, and we're excited about it. Um, so yeah, if you've been around for a while, you'll know that less than 20 episodes ago, that was episode 156, Steve said, we jumped on here together again, just like this, and we were sharing how back in June we almost quit completely with the podcast. We were really burned out. We were really not sure what direction we wanted to head. And then it was very quickly after we thought we might quit that we decided we can't quit because we love this too much. But it has been a season of shifting and pivoting and growing and changing and experimenting and really checking in with our values and figuring out what's important to us so that we can keep showing up here authentically. And a little bit of following the breadcrumbs, right? So, and this goes back to a Scott Stillman book that Steve and I both read early in recovery, where if you keep following along with your values, you keep, chasing the things that are truly and authentically important for you or to you, the universe kind of throws breadcrumbs out there and lets you know, hey, you're on the right path, keep going. And so we've really been trying to pay attention to what that looks like and what those breadcrumbs are. So with that said, we've been at it again with video since September, and now we are working on leveling up again. And we're actually walking into a full rebrand in January. So we are, to give you an idea of what a full rebrand looks like. And if some of you who follow us on social media, you've already started seeing some of these changes. We've referenced it a couple of times, but we wanted to give you more details, let you know what to expect. So you've seen like our picture change and stuff like that. But we are changing the name of the podcast. That'll be the biggest thing that you guys notice is instead of Through the Glass Recovery, we are going to be No Alcohol Needed, the podcast. And we're going to have a new tagline. Steve, do you want to share the tagline?
How to be happy. How to be happy. No alcohol needed. My mind keeps wanting to say how to be happy sober, but it's how to be happy. No alcohol needed. We really thought long and hard about this, and it was funny how we landed on this. It was so simple. We had it was a long car ride out to the desert where we had this conversation of, what do we want to name it? How are we going to change this? This was all based on our values and all based on like, what do we want to give you?
Well, and what do our listeners need, right?
Yeah.
That's when we think about what our listeners are needing, when we hear from you guys in some way or another, we're hearing we just want to be happy without alcohol, right? That's what everybody is looking for. And sometimes that can be a challenge. And so, yeah, we tossed around we love overcomplicating things and using way more words than is necessary. It's like our gift. And so,
have you been listening to me talk lately?
So
or
we landed there. How to be happy, no alcohol needed. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about. And that means we're going to dig into the emotions of sobriety, the emotions of life, and how to process them and how to show up in life in a way that actually makes you feel fulfilled and full of joy and happy and regulated and all of those things that are necessary to really live a happy life without alcohol.
It's one of the things we've really learned, isn't it? Through all of this, through all of the podcast, all of our sobriety so far, is I'm a pretty happy guy now, and you're
Right.
a pretty happy lady now, and that's because of all of the work and all of the conversations and all of the hard stuff that we've been able to share and willing to share in the right places, of course, but uh we wouldn't be here or this happy, and that's what we're going to try and do is share that happiness, share the lessons that we've learned. It's what we've been doing already, but we're going to do this in a little bit of a different way. We're going
Hmm.
to really we've followed the breadcrumbs was what we really have done, and I'm going to touch on the breadcrumbs again. It's when we wanted to quit this, uh it was a decision of like how how we were valuing our time and what we were going to do with it, and maybe what would we do instead. And when we came back and started putting this all together, we had this conversation yesterday, and I've said this before in other parts of my life, is those are the moments where the universe is like, how bad do you want it?
For sure.
And at that point in time, we were like, not bad enough. And then 2 days later, we were like, "Mm,
Right.
it's not time for this to die yet." What's happened since is we've come across some people that believe in what we're doing. And we turned around and we were like, okay, when we rebrand this and we redo this and we're going to condense some of these things, and you've done a fantastic job of creating an arc so we can follow this fantastic path on an episode. And Julie, you got to take all the credit for that one. And the episodes that we've recorded already, the ones that you guys are going to get to see here really soon with uh, our condensed regular guests. We've found some friends and allies that we really believe in, that really believe in us, and now we're going to go on this journey together. So we've got some friends, um, sober and fun entertainment, who we're talking with right now to find out how we can get involved with each other here locally. They're not going to be on the podcast really, but it's going to be stuff that you might see on our social media here soon
And
in the
if you
new.
live near us, we are going to
Mhm.
start getting a little bit more involved in the Western Colorado local scene. So I know we've got a lot of local listeners. Keep an eye out because we'll have some cool stuff coming up where we can actually come hang out with you in person.
Absolutely. And then we have Sean Rawlinson, we've got Mike Coyne, we've got Kristen, Janice Johnson Dowd, who's parenting and recovery on Instagram. And then we have some of our really, really close friends. If you've been around here long enough, or for a while, I guess that's probably the better term. You know Matt, you know Robbie, you know Amber, and you know Christina. They've all been on the podcast a bunch of times, and they're going to be joining us. So we're going to have this mix of 8 people joining us on the podcast now. So you're going to see familiar faces. You're going to get to know them even better, and we're really not hoping, we are, and it's clear with the episodes that we've already recorded that are going to come out in the new year that it's another level up, and I'm super excited to be sharing this next stage of Through the Glass. I still get stuck saying TTG in my head in reference to the podcast because I've said it for so long, but it's no alcohol needed now. It's something I'm looking forward to keeping keeping doing. Wow, English is the second language for me right now.
I will say too, when we talk about how to be happy, right? This doesn't always mean we're going to be talking about all the joyful, happy stuff.
Hmm.
How to be happy means we're going to talk about the hard things, and we're going to talk about how to get through the hard things and how to learn from the hard things and use them to create momentum to move forward and to grow and to learn. So when we talk about how to be happy, I don't want you guys to think that we're going to be over here like all bubbly and I don't know, sometimes I get frustrated by when you look at stuff and people are like, being sober is so amazing, and like it is, but sometimes it's also really hard. So we're going to talk about how to do the hard stuff. And where Steve and I are in our journeys, we're 4.5 years, gosh, getting close to 5 years sober now. This is not really even about those early days anymore. We are focused on emotional intelligence and personal growth and all of these things. Like most of our journey really has nothing to do with alcohol anymore. We're here because we stopped drinking. And we understand that we need to continue this path so that we don't go back to drinking. But as we, lean into some new topics and some new ideas, we're going to be really digging into the emotional intelligence thing. And that's really aligned with where Steve and I are in our own journeys. I know I've noticed with coaching that most of the people that I work with, most of my clients are people who have actually been sober for a few months or even a few years and are just not happy. And so I feel like the work that we're going to do here in the podcast really aligns with the work that I'm doing with clients. And I'm really looking forward to just creating more content for this group of people that they've quit drinking. And there's so many podcasts out there. They're great podcasts for the early sobriety days. We're going to start talking about, what do you do after you figured it out? Like what are you supposed to do after you know how to not drink and stuff still feels kind of empty? So that's going to be our focus, is what that looks like. And we did, when we were on that car ride out to the desert in Utah, we were talking about like, how does this look? And we're kind of, I mean, in a lot of ways, we're kind of starting a new podcast. So do we start from scratch? And we've talked about this before. If you go back and listen to episode 0, when we introduce ourselves and introduce the podcast, y'all, like, we have come so far.
Don't do it. Don't do it. That first step.
No, I'm 100% going to link episode 0 in the show notes here.
Oh,
so if you guys
man.
want to see us at our very, very beginning, go check that out. But anyway, so we talked about like we're ready to, we have the skills now to produce a pretty professional podcast. So do we start a fresh podcast and start from the beginning? And we're like, really, we're not going to do that. We want you guys to be able to go back and see where we started and how rough it was at the beginning and grow with us. I mean, that's I was a year sober. Steve was a year and a half sober when we started this. And so you can go back and listen to us find our way to where we are now. And I think there's so much value in that we're not going to pretend that never happened. We're just going to own all of the rough spots, and we're going to own the mess, and we're going to own the learning, because it's all a part of our story, and we're actually really proud of it.
The decision we came to on the drive, because we were really tossing around just starting a whole fresh new podcast with new accounts and everything like that. And there is a lot of value. And I think I made the reference. Where would we be if we didn't know what our history was like?
Right.
And what that growth was like. And we still want to share that with you.
Mm-hmm.
It still has there's still a whole library. It is a second language for me today.
You're winning.
It is a whole library of episodes and growth and trying and figuring it out. And, there's some episodes back there that aren't our best. And there's some episodes back there that are that have some pretty darn amazing conversations in them. And so it's been it's been a fun process. The rest of this December is going to be tedious, and it's going to be all the rebranding and all of the fun behind the scenes things that we now have some time to do and sit down and take care of. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. So to give you guys an idea, you're going to see, in fact, if you follow us on social media, you've seen some of our handles change already. This is not a full-time job. This is what we do for fun in the evenings. So we don't have the time to just make this big dramatic switch over. So the rest of December is going to be messy. If you keep going to our website, it's going to be all over the place, and you're going to see graphics start changing. And bear with us while we're under construction, because we will hopefully by the very beginning of January, have a newly built and newly designed website. And it will be noalcoholneeded.net. So make sure you go check it out. And one thing that I do want you guys to check out as soon as the website is up and live, we are going to have a page dedicated to our
Yes.
regulars that Steve talked about, with their pictures, their bios, links to the cool stuff that they're doing in the recovery community and some of their work. So make sure when you do go visit the new website that you get to know all of our new teammates, because we are really excited to introduce them to you guys and for you to get to know them like you've gotten to know us. So yeah, just have some patience with us while the mess happens, because I'm not going to pretend like, I mean, you're going to watch it all. You're going to see it all. I don't have the skills in website building to magically make it look amazing.
That's good,
So
because life isn't always about the highlight reel anyways.
absolutely not. No, we're gonna be fully authentic and transparent with you guys, and I think I should have it all figured out by January. But it'll be a process. So
We'll be good.
yeah. And then the last thing that I want to make sure you guys know is we are still going to have our meetings every Monday night. So we love hanging out with a lot of our regular listeners on Monday. And if you are new here, please come check out the meetings. Our meetings are different than typical recovery meetings. So we aren't just focused on getting sober and kicking the alcohol. We are focusing on emotional intelligence and personal growth, and growing that part of us that, again, lets us show up and actually be happy, no alcohol needed. So we would love to have you join us on Mondays. You can go to the website and you can sign up for the newsletter, and we send you a link so you can join us every Monday and get to know us, get to know some of our regulars. A lot of, we talked about Matt and Robbie and Amber and Christina. They're all there almost every Monday.
Yep.
So you can hang out with them too and bounce thoughts off of them. And we love just hanging out and growing together. So we like to say our meetings are a place for connection where people are going the same direction you are. So they're not just for people who are in early sobriety, they are for everybody on any part of their journey, on any path of recovery. We're not AA, we support AA. Whatever is working for you is amazing, and we just want to support that and give you more space to grow. So that's what we do at our meetings.
I couldn't have said that any better. We're here to help. We're here to support. We're both certified recovery coaches, so we have some experience and some training under our belts. Ready to support you, ready to share in your stories, ready to listen, and so is that group.
Mhm.
And so make sure that if that little voice in the back of your head is like, maybe I should,
Just
just do
try
it.
it.
Just do it. Really, you have nothing to lose. Like, if you show up and you're like, no, that's not for me, super cool. At least you tried, you made an attempt to see if it's something that might help you out. One of the reasons why we offer it is because that is literally what helped us get to where we are today,
Mhm.
is meetings just like that didn't have a program, that didn't have a massive structure. It was just people talking about a topic, being human together, and sharing life. And it's really hard to describe that any other way, because I can't give it to you, I can't gift it, I can't wrap it in a bow, and I can't even put it in a stocking. And I'm saying that because Christmas is coming, so like I can't, but I wish I could. And
Mhm.
that's why we have that there, because we wish you could, and we want to see you smile, and like we're smiling, and like a lot
Well,
of other people are.
it's really hard to talk about the hard stuff
It
in
is.
your real life sometimes. If you don't have
Mhm.
people that you can really say the hard things to, then it gets lonely and it gets hard, and you're just sitting there holding it all on your own. And one of the coolest things in the world in the recovery community is that you can show up in a group of strangers and you can say the things that you might not ever say out loud to anybody else. And they're going to hold space for you, and they're going to meet you with empathy and compassion, and they're going to help you, look at it from other angles and share what skills and what lessons they've learned. And it's a pretty amazing experience when you put it all together. So if you are, like Steve said, if you're on the fence, it takes a lot of courage to show up to a meeting if you've never been to one. I know it took me a really, really long time, but it is also pretty life altering when you find the right tribe. So we hope that you will come check it out. And also, if you guys love the podcast and you want to support what we are doing, the best thing you can do is share our podcast with someone else. Even if it's just drop a link to a friend that you think might be able to benefit from what we're talking about, that is absolutely hands down the best thing that you can do if you want to support the work we're doing, is just let's get these episodes into the hands of more people that can use the conversations, that can learn from them and benefit from them. So we would be really grateful. Share, if you're comfortable with it, share an episode on Facebook or Instagram. If you're not comfortable with that, just, drop a link to a friend. And either way, it's really helpful for us.
So I'm going to finish this up with, if you're already a subscriber, thank you so much. Thank you for being here with us. Thank you for sharing this journey. Thank you for loving and enjoying the conversations. If you're new to listening and you're looking for some pretty awesome content, there's so much more coming. Hit subscribe, hit like, leave us a comment. Let us know what you want to hear, a story, a topic, what you're struggling with. We'll be happy to put a conversation like that together with this new group of people that we have and create an episode. Could be specifically for you. That would be pretty amazing. I would be all down for that.
Jump in the comments and tell us, what is keeping you from being happy?
Yep.
And we'll talk about it.
Absolutely. So thank you and Merry Christmas from the group here at No Alcohol Needed.
Thank you, guys. See you next week.
See ya.